People that are able to succeed the most are those that are willing to not wait for certainty before they shoot their shot. This is how procrastination can sometimes show itself, because the chance of having the perfect certain circumstance doesn't actually exist. Welcome to the MoneyFitMD show. I'm Dr. Latifat, the founder of MoneyFitMD. We want to change the narrative where women physicians use. My job is to let you know that's going to be. I have to surround myself with people that are doing crazy things. So, as of the time of recording this podcast, this video audio, it has been reported that the S&P 500 had lost about $5 trillion in value over the last 2 days. And this is the result of the trade war that is currently happening between the US and many other countries in the world. And that is causing a lot of fear. It's causing a lot of anxiety, to the point where numbers have literally dropped like rain. So the question becomes, this will happen, but what goes down will eventually come back up. However, women physicians, for many reasons, are not going to take advantage and be part of the increase that is coming. And so on this episode today, I want to talk about the 4 reasons why women physicians are going to lose money and not benefit from the rebound. And the reason why I'm sharing these mistakes with you is so that you can avoid it. You can do the exact opposite so that you can benefit from what is happening here. So welcome, guys. I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm a GI doctor, mama of 3, and also the founder of MoneyFitMD. And everything that I do on this platform is to help women physicians make money, get their fair share. We work so hard. You're taking care of patients. You're taking care of everybody else and their mama. And the last thing that should happen is you bringing your face out of the water for air, only to find out that everybody and their mama's net worth has grown except yours. So the things that I talk about on this podcast is how to help you have money, earn more money, live life, and practice medicine on your term. Because in 2025 and beyond, in order to be a good physician, you need to take control of your finances. So welcome, guys. I'm excited that you're joining me today. And I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending time with us. I don't take it for granted that you're listening in. I don't take it for granted that you're sharing this podcast. I don't take it for granted that you're leaving us reviews on the podcast. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. I cannot do what I do without you. And you listening, you learning, you taking actions, and you sending me messages about the things that you're doing in your finances gives me so much joy. So I want to say thank you so much for doing that. So let's talk about what is going on a little bit and what this reminds me of. Okay, so, a couple of days before the recording of this podcast episode, there's been, concerns across the country, really across the world, because the US government, the US president has decided to tax countries all around the world. And there are some countries that are getting a bigger tariff than others. And as a result of that, there is some retaliation. Yep, I can see why. There's some retaliations that is happening, and that is literally causing a lot of fear, anxiety across the board. And the thing is, people freak out even before real damage is done. And that actually is what causes the biggest damage. So now the stock market is like nosedive down. And my heart is literally breaking for people that are in retirement or planning on retiring, or their kids are like, depending on the 529 they have invested starting college in the next couple of months or whatever. I really, really hope that if you needed the money in the stock market, that it's not invested in the stock market, because with the nosedive, it will probably take some time, for things to go back up. It's not going to happen overnight. It's probably going to take some time, to be honest with you. But no one really knows for sure. But that's the suspicion, that it will take some time for it to go back up, considering all the drama that's going on. But here is one thing that I do want you to keep in mind. During times like this, the natural thought is to go hide. The natural thought is to go hide and do nothing and come back when the world is doing better. However, I will say that that could be a mistake if you do that. And the reason why I say that is more millionaires and multimillionaires are actually made during downturns, right? And people that are astute investors are understanding that when the market is down, that means it's a good time to buy. And although the general teaching is that you should not time the market, meaning that you should be investing automated based on whatever plan that you already had in place anyway, although that is the recommendation, but right now you can imagine because the value of things are down, if you buy now, you're buying low. So the goal is you want to buy low. That's the goal. You want to buy low and sell high whenever that is time to sell, whether it's in retirement, whether it's depending on what kind of like goals you have, financial goals you have, depending on what the purpose of the money that you're investing in. But the goal is to, you want to buy low and sell high. So it is important that you are invested. It is important that you have been investing. And if you have not been invested, now is a good time to start, right? Don't let everything that's happening freak you out when it comes to investment. But I want to talk about 4 reasons why women physicians miss out biggerly, like majorly, when it comes to situations like this, when it comes to the economic rebound, when it comes to the stock market recovering. And I'll tell you what I did when I saw that the numbers are dived. And normally I'm not someone that monitors my net worth every day because I don't think that's necessary. I monitor my net worth maybe like once a month or so. And I'm invested for long term. So it's not like I need the money right now. However, when I saw that the market had dropped so significantly, the question I asked myself is, do I have money that's sitting down in cash in my portfolio that should be invested? Because again, when things are down, that means that the market is down, things are on sale. But now the question is, why do women physicians not benefit from the downturn, right? You are going through the stress in many ways. There's going to be increased cost of things, most likely. There's going to be more, the prices of things are probably going to go up. So you are hurting in one way. So if you're hurting in one way, why not benefit in another way, right? It's not like you are the one that is controlling the trade war. It's not like you're the one that's saying trade war happen. It is happening, right? So how can you position yourself? And the reason why positioning is important is, imagine when the weather is super cold and you have some sun that is shining, but there's wind and all of that. The best place you want to be if you want to be warm is in the direction of where the sun rays coming down. So if you position yourself well, you will be able to enjoy the benefit of the sun ray. The same thing is true when it comes to your investment, that in order for you to actually benefit from the downturn, yes, I said benefit from the downturn. You didn't cause it, it happened. So why not benefit from the downturn? But in order for you to benefit from the downturn, you want to make sure that you're positioned appropriately. So what are the 4 things that's stopping women physicians from benefiting from it? And number 1 is that many times we play defense, but not offense. I remember what is happening right now reminds me of when we were in a recession in the middle of the pandemic. And I would be talking to physicians, and many physicians were hiding. It's like, yeah, the market is bad. The market is not doing well. The stock market is blah, blah, blah. The real estate market is blah, blah. Yeah, we're just going to save our money. And then, when the time is right, we'll come out and play. And that was the conversation that physicians were having. But then when I go to other areas and other circles, the conversation was different, right? And part of it is because we as physicians, we play defense instead of playing offense. We don't play offense, we play defense. We're like, okay, stuff is happening. I'm going to cut down on my expenses. I'm going to go hide. I'm not going to come out. But we're not asking ourselves of where the opportunity is, like, where can I invest? Because there's always something good to invest in. Of course, anytime you invest, there's risk and benefits to it. But many times the bigger risk you're taking is leaving your money in a piggy bank. And I'm pointing to a piggy bank right now that I've had since 2004 or so, 2004 or so. That piggy bank, the money in there is lost value. All my coins in there, it's lost value because of inflation, right? So if I'm not investing my money is decreasing by just sitting down on my account, not making any money. So if you are playing defense and not offense when it comes to your finances, if you're trying not to make mistakes, you're trying not to get anything wrong, you're trying to just cut, hide, that's playing defense. People that are super successful, they play offense. Yes, play defense, but you cannot only play defense, you have to play defense and offense, right? You have to play defense and offense. But if all you're doing is hiding, you're just going to miss the wave. The number two mistake that people make, that women physicians make, is we're looking for certainty. I will be honest with you. So I told you what I did, which was look at my finances and say, is there anything in my portfolio that's sitting down in cash that I want to invest? But I will also tell you the next thing that I started doing this even before the whole tariff thing. It's strengthening my own emotional capacity and strengthening my own skills and what I need to deepen my degree of anti-fragility. What do I mean by anti-fragility? There is a book that I'm reading. It's a pretty chunky book. It's called Anti-Fragile by, I forget the name of the author, but it's really easy. You can look into it. It has like over 6,000 reviews on Amazon. And one of my mentors had recommended it last year, and I'm finally reading it. And one of the things that it talks about is the difference between being resilient versus being anti-fragile. Resilient means that you're able to conform in a little bit, like change your shape in a little bit, that makes you able to go back to your normal after the insult, quote unquote, has gone. So for example, being resilient right now means that you are tolerating what's happening economically, you're not broken. But now anti-fragile is different. Anti-fragile is like riding a surfboard in the middle of a wave. You're like, we are made for this. Like, I am meant to thrive in this. It's like, if this is happening, it's going to work for me. That's with anti-fragile. It's not only that you're not going to be destroyed, which is resilient, but it's more of like, I will grow, I will thrive, I will benefit from what's going on. And right now is not the time to let everything destroy you, number one. But also, it's not a time to just be resilient. It is time to grow and thrive and really catch the wave of what's going on here, right? And part of this is many times we want certainty. Many physicians want certainty, right? It's like, if I want to invest, I want to make sure I'm never going to lose my money. I had someone who was like interested in joining the Money School, which is our 12-month coaching program. And I remember one of the things that she was saying was like, Latifat, are you saying that if I sign up for the program, my chance of success is guaranteed? And I said, no, I did not say that. I said it is guaranteed if you do your work, if you show up, if you get the coaching, you learn the material. But if you sign up for something and never ever show up for it, of course it's not going to work for you, right? And so many times we want certainty, but in order to be very, very, very successful, you have to learn how to thrive, especially in the midst of uncertainty. And to be honest with you, I think certainty is actually like a fluke. I think certainty is not something that is real, because at the end of the day, who really can be certain? When can you really be certain? Like, even you're looking at the weather forecast and tomorrow it says like, my kids are funny. Okay. So my kids are funny. I think they are funny. They're not like laugh out loud funny, but they're like silly funny. And part of why they're silly funny is because weather-wise, we've been having some like wonky weathers where it's raining and one day sunny the other day. And my 12-year-old sometimes, when it's rainy, we have her wear her rain boots. So she likes playing basketball at school. And what happens is there are times when she wants to play basketball and so does not want to wear her rain boots. But if it's going to rain, we're like, you should wear your rain boots to school. So there are times where she's like, okay, what's the weather looking like? Is it going to rain? And we go based on the weather forecast, based on what we have on our phone. And there are times when it gets it wrong. Maybe you could say it will rain or high likelihood of rain, and then maybe it will not rain at all. And it's funny to see her face when she comes back from school all upset because she wore like chunky shoes to school and it did not rain. I'm like, child, there are bigger problems in the world. However, I just think it's funny. But like, even the weather forecast, it's not 100% accurate. You cannot guarantee without a doubt what's going to happen in future. So nobody knows. So if you're looking for certainty, this is how procrastination can sometimes show itself, because the chance of having the perfect certain circumstance doesn't actually exist. But you will get rewarded for deciding that you're going to thrive in the middle of uncertainty. So people that are able to succeed the most are those that are willing to not wait for certainty before they shoot their shot. Right? They're anchored in their faith, they're anchored in their belief, they're anchored in themselves, in their relationships and who they are. And so now they're like, okay, that this is what we're doing, and I will shoot my shot and do my best to learn how to take care of my finances, do my best to learn about this investment. But they're not waiting for certainty to like take action. They take action even in the middle of uncertainty. I will tell you that we bought properties in the middle of the pandemic when everybody and their mama were hiding, and many of these properties were great deals because the people that were selling were really, really, really interested in selling. So if you're hiding and waiting for certainty, you will lose. You will miss out on opportunities, but also just understand that this may be procrastination trying to show itself as logic, even though it's not logic, it's all just procrastination. Okay. And then the third reason why women physicians will miss out on the increase that they could have is because we let fear and guilt control our actions. What do I mean by that? Oh, I mean, I get this so strongly because I am us. I get it. And the whole idea of even thinking about your money when the world is crashing sometimes may feel wrong. It's like, I already earned an income. Why am I even thinking about earning more? Maybe you're feeling guilty about that. And I will say that the fundamental problem with that is, or the fundamental issue is that you don't understand money and you don't understand the purpose of money. You think money is about you as opposed to you being a vessel through which money goes through. You know, the key is this. If you understand that you are not your money and your money is not you, you are you, and money is a tool that you get to use your conduit for money, you're not going to feel guilty about the fact that you're learning to leverage the circumstances that is beyond your control that is happening in the world. And I'm like, listen, y'all, I mean, I'm not saying that, what's his name? Tesla dude. I don't agree with many of the things that he does, to be honest with you. However, many times we're going to be complaining about the fact that when this decline happens and when the uptake happens, we're going to be talking about how people like that, their net worth is growing, when we could have leveraged the same situation through which their net worth grew. So we know that when things go down, they will come up eventually. If it doesn't come up, we got bigger fishes to fry and bigger issues like World War something or like a global crash, right? However, if that does not happen, we know that it's all a matter of time before what goes down comes up. As long as you diversified, you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket when it comes to your investment, it will come up. So if you're not looking at your finances right now, so for example, people in my community, at the time of this recording, before tax time, they're making sure that they've done their Roth IRA for 2024. If you haven't done your Roth IRA, your backdoor Roth IRA, that may be something to consider doing, right? So if you're have not been doing your 401k, now is the time to make sure that your 401k has been automated, right? If you're not doing your 403b, like this is the time. And especially the mistake people make is they get information about one sector of the economy and they automatically apply that to every single sector of the economy. One of the things that's been happening with real estate is because of the high interest rate, it's been hard to make deals good. We also know that with the stuff that's happening economically and federal government workers being let go of and things like that, we know that dinner tables are going to be strained. So your tenants may not be paying rent like they were before. Hopefully they do, but there is a chance that that could be happening where some of your tenants may start being late with their payment, right? And so you can see how that can affect things like your cash on cash, your cash flow from the property, right? And now if that is affecting your cash flow from the property, in general, it may be harder to run the numbers to get good cash flowing properties, right? So maybe right this microsecond, you're saying that maybe buying my small multifamily is not a great idea until I make sure that the numbers work. However, that's not the only sector that exists, right?
That's not the only sector that exists when it comes to investment. So where are the sectors that are doing well? And have you been positioned in a place that helps you take advantage of that so that when things are coming up, you're going to soar with it, right? So fear, guilt, those are things that literally are emotions that will keep you broke. And when it comes to your finances, even if you're experiencing this, you don't want to take action or inaction as a result of fear or guilt, right? Faith over fear, right? Guilt is just useless. It's unnecessary. And again, if you truly understand the foundation of money, that you are not your money, you are a tool, you're a conduit through which money gets through you to people that you're meant to bless in this world, then it's like it makes no sense for me to not have money, because why would I not want to do more good? Why would I not want to be able to have choices and options, right? And honestly, when it comes to even things like negotiation, that's my mindset, because I truly understand that I'm a good conduit of money. So getting underpaid is not just unfair to me, it's it's illogical to the tree that I'm building, right? It's illogical because when I don't earn what I should be earning, then my tree is going to be affected because the amount of money that I'm pumping into the tree is going to decrease. So, because my money is what makes more money, the more money I put into it, the more money potentially it could make. So, my responsibility is to keep the tree running. That's my job. So, why would I want to be underpaid when that is going to negatively impact the tree that is meant to bloom and feed the people that I am supposed to feed in different areas of my impact? I hope that's making sense to you guys. So that's how and why I'm intolerable of being underpaid for that reason. Because at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, it doesn't take a lot to have a rich life. That's just the truth. And once you've accomplished that, you have to understand that the goal has to be bigger than you. And for me, the goal when it comes to money is bigger than me. And that is part of what gives me the freedom without straining, without hustling, without grinding, without negatively impacting my relationship with God, with myself, my spouse, my kids, because I understand that my job is to build that tree. Because of that, I I cannot be, why would I feel guilty? Why would you feel guilty? Right? Because of that, I know that fear is useless, because fear causes us to cower, causes us to go to a place of lower frequency as opposed to being in a place where we can be more of our authentic self. Okay. And then the last but not the least reason is because you don't have a wealth framework. You don't have your asset allocation. You don't have a financial plan. You don't have an investment plan, right? And when things like this happening, it's not the time to throw out your plan out of the window. It's time for you to maintain the course. But you're not going to maintain the course if you never had a plan. You're not going to maintain the course if you never had an investment strategy. And, it's interesting how people try to make this so complicated. And they're like, oh, what should I invest in? I'm like, I've been investing in most of like the same boring index funds forever. I haven't even changed my asset allocation. I haven't changed my asset allocation really in years. So even now with the downturn, I just buy more of what I've already said I was gonna buy. I'm not buying something different. I'm buying more of what I was already gonna buy. And that's because I like the way that my asset is allocated. I like the diversity between things that are represented in the US, between stocks that's like international exposure, between real estate. We used to have more rates REITs in the past, but because we invest actively in real estate, we've chosen to decrease the amount by not investing more in real estate through the stock market. We invest outside of the stock market, right? But that was a plan that we had. So even when now that the stock market may be on sale, we're not buying something different. We're buying more of what we already pre-decided to buy. So many times the reason why people will miss out is because they don't have plans. You don't already have a plan in place. So you're asking yourself, what should I do? What step am I going to take? How should I move? When all you need to do is go do more of what you were already doing. Go do more of the decisions that you were already done, right? And so, this is not the time to freak out. This is not the time to like be distracted. This is not the time to overwhelm yourself emotionally. This is the time to be strategic. This is the time to make clear plans. This is the time to invest. This is the time to make sure that not especially with someone they're like, oh, those people, like, you don't want those people to be the only ones benefiting from it. You want to also benefit from it. Because when you do, it's a good thing for you. It's a good thing for the world. Why would I want to overwork? Why would I want to be underpaid? Why would I want to not invest when I can? So these are some of the things that I want you to watch out for, because they literally are the things that are going to be stealing away from you, that will cause you to go broke, but now not benefit from the upstroke that is inevitably going to happen at some point. Because again, when we look at history, what goes down will eventually come up. It may take some time, right? And so for you guys that are listening, if you have like big plans over the next 1 to 3 years, your kid is going to be starting college, you're retiring, right? Those sort of like big life events, it's going to be important for you to consider consulting a financial advisor, ideally a fiduciary, someone with fiduciary responsibilities, which means that by law, they legally are supposed to make decisions that are in line with your value. You would think that would be automatic, but it's not automatic. So I hope this has been helpful for you. My question for you is, which one of those four things are you guilty of? Which one of those four things are you going to strengthen? And when you're listening to me talk about things like this, it's not an invitation for you to judge yourself, shame yourself, none of that. This is literally an invitation for you to like strengthen the muscles that may be weak. So maybe even playing defense, it's time to play offense, right? Maybe for you, you've been letting fear and guilt, it's time to check that. Maybe for you, you've been like waiting for certain time, you're waiting for things to feel more certain, when ultra successful people actually don't wait for certain times. They thrive in uncertainty. They decide to be anti-fragile. They decide to like anchor themselves deeply so that they're like, I am made for this. I literally have that written on my board, not just for you, but also for me to remember, like, never play it safe. Never play it safe. Never play it safe. That does not mean be irresponsible, but that just means that don't wait for the sense of safety in order to take action. I wrote on my board that I'm looking at right now, it's like, Latifat, you are anti-fragile. That's a reminder for myself. I'm reading those things to remind myself as well. And I wrote down, I'm born for such a time as this, right? My job is not to cower. My job is not to hide. My job is to make sure that the people that I've been placed in a place of leadership with, the people that I lead, the people that are in my world, that especially we women physicians, that we're not hiding, we're not cowering. And I also put on my board a scripture that I love, love, love so much. It's from Romans 11, verse 36. And I wrote down the 3 points. It's like, everything, number one, comes from God, because God is my source. I don't know about you. You get to decide. For me, God is my source. So number one is, everything that I have comes from God. My job is not my provider. All of this is not my provider. They're all ways through which God provides for me and takes care of me. So number one is, everything I have, everything that I am comes from God. Number two is, everything exists by God's power. That's my belief. It doesn't have to be yours. That's mine. Find yours. This is mine. And number three is, everything that I am is intended for His glory. So those are my things. Those are the core things that I'm meditating on, so that I can stay grounded. I can stay focused, because it doesn't happen automatically for any one of us. Like, you don't get what you get what you invest. And if you don't invest anything, you ain't gonna get nothing, right? If you don't feed yourself with good stuff, you're just gonna be overwhelmed, and you'll let social media and the news outlet, which, by the way, the news outlet is not here to teach you news. They're here to grab your attention, right? It's all about the hook. They want to hook you. And if it's not emotionally charged, they're not gonna get your attention. So their survival is literally dependent on hooking you. So if you're letting the headline be what determines your state of being, you're just going to make yourself anxious, and you're responsible for that, right? And so that's why I have to make sure I'm feeding myself with good stuff, so that I can be prepped, I can be taken care of, and I can make sure that I support my women physicians. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If it has been, go ahead and share with other women physicians in your life. Listen, there's a reason why you are in their life. I don't know them, you know them. You are meant, you're conduit for good things, including good information. So if this has helped you at all, if this has encouraged you, if this has anchored you, if this has helped you take one action, I'm going to challenge you to go and share. If it's on the YouTube, on the podcast, just go ahead and text it to your friends, share it in your Facebook group. The important thing is, we are on a mission to help women physicians be well. We're on a mission to empower, educate, and help close some of the gaps that exist when it comes to money. And it starts with you. All right. I hope this has been helpful. Love you. Thank you for listening. And I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.